This girl is a superstar. I've been saying it for years. I keep telling everybody she's the Steph Curry of women's basketball, college or pro. She is a superstar. I had the pleasure of doing an event with her on campus at Iowa a few months ago. I went there for my man Mark Shapiro, and I had a blast. She and I were on a panel together. She's a wonderful, wonderful young lady, incredibly poised, but this woman is the nation's leading scorer, averaging 31.5 points per game, shooting 40% from threes. She's hitting at least 5 three-pointers per game. She is elite. I'm telling y'all, wait till this girl gets to the WNBA. She is something special. Make no mistake about it. And I really, really, really am rooting for her. I really want to see her, again, have another shot at a national championship. She's my favorite player.
The WNBA just got hit with a harsh truth. Caitlin Clark is the league's golden goose, and she's cashing in. Reports say she's set to make $10 million through contracts, endorsements, and bonuses. But some WNBA players aren't too happy. Is it jealousy, or is it a question of fairness?
Because I'm hearing like, yeah, they don't give us, if y'all don't give us what we want, like, we sit out.
That's a possibility.
Before Caitlin Clark joined the league, the WNBA was constantly struggling for mainstream attention. Annual revenue hovered around $200 million, with the league relying heavily on NBA subsidies.
Well, Caitlin Clark hugging her family, her brothers, Blake and Colin, her father Brent, her mother Ann, and heading to the podium. She is officially a member of the Indiana Fever after has decorated a collegiate career.
Average game attendance hovered around 6,500 per game, while merchandise sales were just a fraction of the NBA's. The league barely made headlines, and even the WNBA Finals struggled to draw more than 1 million viewers. Player salaries were limited, with max contracts capped at around $240K per year, and only a handful of star players landed major endorsement deals. Simply put, the league was barely surviving on NBA subsidies, not thriving. Then came Caitlin Clark. From the moment she declared for the draft, WNBA numbers skyrocketed. The WNBA draft shattered records with 2.45 million viewers, making it the most watched in history. Indiana Fever's ticket sales spiked by over 400%, with their home openers selling out in record time. Road games featuring Caitlin Clark also sold out. Other WNBA teams are profiting just by having her in the building. Merchandise sales skyrocketed, with Caitlin Clark's jersey becoming the best-selling WNBA rookie jersey of all time. As for ratings, the Fever's preseason game against the Dallas Wings even outperformed NBA playoff games on ESPN.
Time winding down. Are they going to get the ball up in time? Clark for the win! She does it time and time again, the 40-piece, and walks off with the W.
Listen, logo threes, it's her signature. That is the most Caitlin Clark way to win a game.
Every metric the WNBA struggled with, Caitlin Clark has completely turned around. Some players have expressed frustration, questioning why she's making so much while veteran stars aren't. But let's be real, Caitlin Clark is the reason. WNBA players might finally see the pay raises they've been fighting for. Several teams have already made enough money to upgrade their facilities to state-of-the-art standards, fly charter and private jets, and hand out massive bonuses. She's single-handedly generating millions in additional revenue for the league. Sponsors are finally showing serious interest in the WNBA because of her star power, and networks are paying higher broadcasting rights fees, all because people want to watch Caitlin Clark. And let's not lose sight of the bigger picture. The WNBA has long pushed for better pay and more attention. Yet now that Caitlin Clark is bringing it, some players seem more focused on envy than progress. She's not just a rookie. She's the biggest thing to happen to the WNBA. Period. She's the reason the league is in mainstream conversations right now. Yet somehow, the WNBA expects her to play for just $75,000 a year. That's less than what some people make at a desk job. While Nike offered her a $28 million a year deal for 8 years, even that feels like a bargain for what she brings to the game. Meanwhile, some WNBA players who've done little but fumble their opportunities and chase drama are pushing for higher pay. If anyone in this league deserves a raise, it's Caitlin Clark. She should be earning based on WNBA revenue percentages, not stuck with some lowball rookie contract.
To pass, Clark. Oh my! From Schenectady! Clark, the lid, and drains it! My goodness! Because she's how sick she was. Clark! She's
How will she go for history?
Let's put this in perspective. WNBA veterans like Aja Wilson, who've been in the league for years, have struggled to generate the kind of massive buzz that Caitlin Clark has. Yet, she makes around $240K per year. Caitlin Clark, the biggest draw in WNBA history, only takes home a rookie salary of $75,000. The WNBA has never seen a player like her. Every time she steps on the court, she breaks another record, fills another arena, and takes the sport to new heights. Yet, despite all of this, there are still people trying to discredit her. Some WNBA players and media voices have tried every trick in the book to downplay Caitlin Clark's success. They've called her overrated and claimed she only gets attention because she's white. But here's the problem with that argument. There have been plenty of white WNBA players before Caitlin Clark, and none of them made this kind of impact. So why is Caitlin Clark different? If her popularity were just about race, then why didn't the WNBA explode when Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi, or Sabrina Ionescu were in their prime? They were all great players, talented and white, but they never drew the kind of attention Caitlin Clark has.
So will Caitlin Clark be a good pro? Absolutely. Will Caitlin Clark come into the WNBA and do what she's doing right now? Immediately? Absolutely not. Not gonna happen.
Okay. Not on the
The
right.
truth is, Caitlin Clark's appeal goes far beyond just basketball. Her game is electric. Her deep three-pointers are jaw-dropping. Her ability to run the floor, make impossible passes, and score from anywhere makes her a must-watch player. Her critics conveniently ignore all of this because they don't want to admit what's really happening. Caitlin Clark isn't just good. She's revolutionary. And it doesn't stop at basketball. Caitlin Clark's presence transcends sports. She isn't just a basketball star, she's a cultural phenomenon.
On a three.
Just for that reason, they're too deadly from behind the arc.
An 11-0 run for New York. Clark, she got it. And Clark.
As Lainey Hamilton has been to Caitlin Clark. all night tonight.
Are you talking about my high school experience? Along two. It stays here with Indiana. Clark, a deep one. You bet.
When Caitlin Clark showed up at a 7 a.m. Pro-Am golf event, the crowd was massive. Most players wouldn't draw that kind of crowd for an actual game, let alone an early morning appearance at a golf event. Yet Caitlin Clark did. People waited just for a chance to catch a glimpse of her, and she took the time to sign autographs for the overwhelming number of fans. This level of fame isn't normal for a WNBA player. It's something much bigger. She's not just attracting basketball fans. She's pulling in casual viewers, new audiences, and even sports fans who never cared about women's basketball before. That's something no other NBA player has ever done.
Well, Caitlin Clark hugging her family, her brothers, Blake and Colin.
If Angel Reese, who has built a reputation for dirty plays and unnecessary drama, is calling for higher salaries, then Caitlin Clark should absolutely be at the top of the WNBA's payroll. She is the reason the league is finally making money. Without her, the WNBA wouldn't even be having this conversation about increased pay. Caitlin Clark has been doubted, discredited, and dismissed, but no matter what her critics say, the facts remain the same. She's the biggest star the WNBA has ever had. She isn't just great, she's transformative. She's drawing record-breaking crowds, bringing in new fans, and generating millions for a league that struggled for years. Think about it. Caitlin Clark's merchandise alone will make the WNBA millions. Tickets to her games are selling at NBA-level prices, and people who never watched the WNBA before are now lining up to see her play. Yet her paycheck doesn't even come close to what some bench players in other leagues make. Nike stepped up and offered her $28 million over 8 years, which seems massive at first, but then you realize what Caitlin Clark is actually worth.
Clear out.
Giroux turns, ducks in. In fact, Benley stays with her. Blocked from behind. That was Clark. Now Clark back to Clark. She will launch and bury a three. So Chris decides going to trust her second-year pro. 5 fouls. Just under 8 minutes to play. Clark over Horston. Hits a three.
Really good interior passing, but Indiana's got to stop letting the ball get into the paint. They've got to keep it out.
Clark, step back, hits a three.
Defensive board or a turnover and push pace the other way. First and
on a deep three.
Around women's basketball.
WNBA jersey sales before Caitlin Clark were practically non-existent. WNBA games before Caitlin Clark were struggling for viewership. Now she's single-handedly boosting WNBA revenue, yet she's locked into a contract that pays her less than NBA rookies make from shoe deals in a single year. The real conversation isn't whether she deserves $10 million, it's why she isn't making even more. Meanwhile, other WNBA players who couldn't bring in a fraction of her impact are calling for higher salaries.
Women's college basketball.
Caitlin Clark has been making people pay since her freshman year in Iowa City.
You have to guard Caitlin Clark even before she crosses half court. What's that, about 26 feet? Going to drain it.
100% of those donations goes to research, and there's Caitlin Clark.
If anyone should be getting paid what they're worth, it's Caitlin Clark. Here's why. The WNBA had 24 games this season that crossed 1 million viewers. Guess how many of those featured Caitlin Clark? 18. This isn't a coincidence. This is the Caitlin Clark effect in full force.
Harrington off the markers. Clark steps into a three. Netting three-point percentage, just under 29%. Clark heaves.
She works hard and does her work early before the ball.
And Parker married in the offseason. Clark catch and shoot, hits a three.
And Christy Sides told us on Reese. Clark gets freed up.
And it's not just viewership. It's game scheduling, sponsorships, and broadcasting rights. The Indiana Fever just secured a historic TV deal with 41 of their 44 games being nationally broadcast, the highest in WNBA history. Her team's road games are selling out at an unprecedented rate, with ticket prices skyrocketing. Sponsorships are flooding in as major brands scramble to attach themselves to her name. These numbers are unheard of in the WNBA, and yet she's not even making what a second-string NBA player earns in a week.
Yeah, the CBA is coming up. I can't wait.
Girl, y'all benefited from everything. Y'all youngins benefited from NIL.
What does that mean? We deserve more. Everybody.
I agree.
Everybody.
I agree with that.
But we got to face the consequences.
But y'all got to deal with something.
But the women coming in, not this year, but next year.
Yeah.
The ones coming in this year will still be on the rookie contract again. The ones that the year after, they going to get more. They probably going to be making more than us.
Oh, they are.
I'm hurt.
They are. Like, yeah. I've been in the meetings. They are.
I need to get in the meetings.
You need to come to the
I
meetings.
got to get in the meetings because I'm hearing like, yeah, they don't give us, if y'all don't give us what we want, like, we sitting out.
That's a possibility.
Before Caitlin Clark arrived, the WNBA was struggling with TV ratings, empty arenas, low merchandise sales, and stagnant player salaries. The league was desperate for a star who could bring in a larger audience, and they finally got one.
Mia Coffey does well every time down the floor. It tries to help the fly. She has done throughout her career at multiple levels.
Tina Charles just had 2 points.
Having to take the ball out of the net a lot more here in this third than we saw in the first half, and that's affected their pace.
After Caitlin Clark, everything changed. Every game she plays is an event, drawing millions of viewers who had never paid attention to the WNBA before. Merchandise sales have soared, with Caitlin's jerseys constantly selling out. Sponsors who previously overlooked the league are now throwing money at it, eager to capitalize on the newfound attention. The league's entire financial future is riding on Caitlin Clark, but somehow she's still making less than a corporate intern. If Angel Reese and others are pushing for higher pay, even with their on-court performances hurting the game, then what should Caitlin